Charles Darwin once said, "It is not the strongest of the species that survives, nor the most intelligent, but the most responsive to change." He also said, and I quote, "A man who dares to waste 1 hour of time has not discovered the value of life." He must have played Toki Going Ape Spit for the Sega Genesis. Known in Japan as Juju Densetsu, Toki Going Ape Spit's story starts out the same, but with slightly differing storylines. The Japanese version begins with a man and a woman looking upon the lush forest they were living in after abandoning civilization. All of a sudden, a dark castle rises up from the ground, and the demon Vuki Medlo? Where'd they get these names? The demon Vuki Medlo appears to kidnap the lady. In doing so, also manages to turn the man into an ape. In the West, swap the demon for a mad scientist and add how people got tired of their 9-to-5 jobs and decided to leave the world behind to live in the jungle because it was quote-unquote simpler. This sets the precedent for just how strange this game is going to be. So you start out as Toki, doing what the game says in the title, Going Ape Spit. I can tell you right now, if I was Toki, I would be doing that too. It's a platforming game that has shooter-like qualities. It's not quite a shmup, but it feels like a mix of Contra and really any Genesis platformer of the day, except for Sonic. You could even call Toki the anti-Sonic, because Toki moves incredibly slow. I mean, we're all seeing the same game footage, right? At this pace, he's not going to get to the lady until she's been rescued, remarried, had multiple kids, and paid off her mortgage. But that's not all. Toki is difficult to maneuver in the air. You have to fine-tune your jumps. This isn't Mario. When the levels are vertical, the camera often moves with your character, so you have to make sure to remember where the next platform is because it can disappear for a second while the screen moves. Otherwise, you'll jump to your death, or worse, you'll be forced to climb back up all over again. If you get too hasty, you risk missing any platform entirely. You must jump toward the end of the platform to reach the next one and hope that no enemies come out of nowhere. This leads into my final point, cheap deaths. I had just talked about those pesky vertical levels. If you jump as you're going up, you risk moving the screen upward with you and revealing a flying enemy right above your head, or one that spots you and chases you down like a heat-seeking missile. You have no protection. All this wouldn't matter if you could take multiple hits, but unfortunately it only takes one hit to kill you. That in and of itself is cheap. What you need to do to progress is know what power-up you need for each part of a given level. You have your normal spit shot, a 3-way spread shot, a bouncy shot, one big spitball, and the coolest one, the spiral shot. Each one will come in handy depending on the scenario. Knowing where to find them will aid you on your adventure. The main gameplay loop consists of die, get further, die some more, and get a little further. In games like Journey to Silius or VVVVVV, both of which I covered, that loop is fun because you know you are the reason why you died. But here, it feels a hell of a lot more tedious and unfair. Toki has personality and a little bit of charm, but I cannot overlook the cheap nature of its gameplay. It's an interesting curiosity for those who want to try it, based on the crazy name and premise alone, like I did. I don't believe it's a hidden gem or anything like that, but it's certainly not a bad game either. Once you progress and get a little farther, you'll start to see new wacky and crazy things. Some of which will make you chuckle. Like the boss that's a submarine with a monkey face that shoots missiles that also have monkey faces. That's pretty funny. Like I said, it has personality and charm, but But that isn't everything you need in a game. With some tweaks to the gameplay, perhaps Toki could be a much more fun time. Because Going Apespit gained a cult following, it received a remake on the Nintendo Switch and other last-gen systems a few years ago, so perhaps that solves my issues with Toki. It just goes to show how 90s platformers truly were unique and how they reveled in their own oddity. That's not something we get too often nowadays. This is Toki Going Apespit for Sega Genesis.